Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. It's Lane here with MetaShackle. Today I'm going to be going over a couple of different charts, including XRP, Telcoin, ZBCN, as well as the XPR charts, not to be confused with XRP. And just a warning, my neighbors are having a heck of a shindig out there, so you're probably going to hear a lot of noise in the background, but there's really no way to avoid it. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into the charts. For additional information and exclusive perks, do consider joining me and the rest of our community on Patreon. First off, taking a look at the Telcoin chart, this is the weekly chart. We can see that price has been trading within this nice wedge pattern for quite some time now. After forming a 5-wave move to the upside, it then formed a WXY to the downside, moving to the flash crash candle right here, where price recovered and has basically been kind of stalling out in this area. But the one thing that I want to focus on this particular chart on the weekly is the fact that we are forming a strong bullish divergence right here between the price and between the CCI indicator, which could be a very good sign that we could potentially see a reversal in the momentum with some potential price appreciation in the very near future. Jumping over to the daily chart, we can still see that strong bullish divergence right here, which is aligning with the flash crash candle right here on the 10th. If we go back on the chart and we look at this bullish fair value gap, which you can see here in the green, it's been holding up price very nicely as price touched it here back on April 7th, pushed into it just a little bit here on June 22nd, then pushed in even deeper right here during the flash crash. But all in all, it looks like this bullish fair value gap right here is actually doing a very good job of holding up price. But we also need to keep in mind that this lower trend line is considerably lower than where the current price is trading. So if price does turn to the downside for whatever reason, there is a good chance that price could drop a considerable amount coming down to touch this trend line. So we definitely need to be cautious of that potential. Now jumping over and taking a look at the XPR chart, this is also the weekly chart, we can see that the price has been trading within this very well-defined channel for quite some time, going all the way back to April of 2020. Price touched the bottom back here, touched the top range up here, broke just below the lower range right here in September of 2023 and early October of 2023, and price is now pushing up, having touched the upper range once again. Now, you definitely need to be cautious with this particular crypto as to where it is pushing up towards this upper range. If it does fail for whatever reason and price starts to push down, there is a considerable amount of room to the downside. Now, I'm not saying that this is a great time to buy or to invest in XPR by any means, but it's definitely a crypto that I see a very bright future to, and it could have a lot of potential. It is crowned with this bearish order block right here on the monthly that's sitting just outside of the upper range, and there's also a weak doji waterfall on the weekly resting right up here at 0.0317, which would mean that if price did break out up above this upper trend line and out of this channel, managing to get through this bearish order block, this right here, this weak doji, would actually be my price target, which as it sits right now is considerably higher than the current price. So all in all, we would see about a 5.5x over current price. Flipping over and taking a look at the daily chart, we can see that the price is actually forming a strong bullish divergence on the chart right here in the price compared to the CCI indicator, which also, the same as we saw in the Telcoin chart, could be a sign that we're about to see a reversal soon. That doesn't mean that it has to be a big jump to much higher prices. It just shows that there is a divergence and the price action is not aligning with what the indicator is showing. So this will definitely be one to watch, and it is one that I will be looking to accumulate depending on what happens with the price action. If we get a major pullback, I may start to accumulate some, but as it sits right now, I don't like where it's sitting within the channel, so I'm likely going to wait. But do some research on this. You might like what you see. Now jumping over and taking a look at the ZBCN chart. This is the daily chart. You can see that since setting the all-time high right here, which was the end of this fifth wave impulse to the upside, price has been trading within this nice triangular pattern, bouncing off of the lows, bouncing off of the highs. We have 2 points on each side to give us these lines. Price has also gone to each extreme, above and below the equilibrium zone, and has spent quite a bit of time trading within it. Price is currently trading slightly above, just ever so slightly above the equilibrium line, which is the green line in the center of the equilibrium zone right here. But you can also see, if you zoom in and kind of look at this, that we also have a hidden bullish divergence forming on this chart as well, with the indicator pointing downward and the price action moving upward, which, as we saw in the other two charts, could be a sign that we're about to see some sort of a reversal here. Now, when looking at this particular chart, there's quite a bit of potential resistance resting above the current price, which has already rejected price once previously here on 2 separate occasions. By having 2 bearish order blocks that have formed above current price, one here centered about 005.5, and another just above it, sitting at about 00625. But there is also a bullish order block resting below current price, where the liquidation candle during the flash crash actually dipped into liquidity within this particular range. So there is definitely some liquidity resting below in this particular area. I do have a nice position of ZBCN, but I don't currently have any plans to add to that position currently. But I think it definitely has a bright future, and it's going to be one that we're going to want to watch. Do some research into this one as well. Jumping over and taking a look at the XRP chart. This is the weekly chart. We can see that we have a 5-wave impulse to the upside with wave 1, 2, 3 into a long wave 4, which we are still waiting on the potential for the 5th wave to come to fruition, and we are likely already trading within that 5th wave. And if you've followed my channel, you know that this also moved the potential price points for XRP up into this particular area, with the 1.618 sitting at about $6.65, with the 1.786 setting up at about 7.83. which, after the dragon pattern was broken by the flash crash, this candle right here, completely changed the formation of the channel, canceling out the previous 5-wave impulse that we were seeing in this area here. But we still have a similar pattern, and one that could actually lead to much higher prices in the form of the 5-wave impulse that we have on the chart currently. Now, one of the main differences that we see on the XRP chart that we did not see on the other 3 previous charts is the fact that XRP is showing a bearish hidden divergence on the 4-hour chart, with price pushing down and the indicator pushing upward. If we switch back over to the daily chart, we can see that price is trading within a well-defined channel, which is a very good sign. Price also has 2 levels of support right here in the form of a bullish order block on the weekly, which price pushed into here, as well as a bullish fair value gap resting right here. During the flash crash, the price actually wicked right through this puppy and came all the way down to this bullish fair value gap before pulling up. But to where this was only a wick and no candle body actually formed through it, this bullish order block still remains in play. So I will be watching this and looking to it as our potential support zone. And the one thing that we need to keep in mind is that if this bullish order block breaks and price comes through here and full body candles close through it, then it will be broken and it will leave very little support below, with this bullish order block down here, which starts at about $1.41, being the next level of potential support. So we definitely don't want to see that happen. But as it sits right now, price is trading within the equilibrium zone, slightly below the equilibrium line currently. And I would really like to see price get out here up and above this upper trend line. That would be a really good sign. But as it sits right now, we have to overcome this bearish hidden divergence. It's very interesting that the XRP chart isn't lining up with the other 3 charts that I've shown, which to me is very suspicious, but that's crypto. And if you would like to trade spot, or if you're just looking for a place to swap your cryptos for 0 fees and save a little bit of coin, definitely look into BitUnix. It's the only place I trade, and it's where I swap all of my cryptos. So definitely check it out. You'll be glad you did. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Good luck and have a great weekend.